Why I can't have them both? Manifest magic, hocus pocus to the living ghost, to the folk hooked on an unbelief. Who's the joke? Now I proceed. I was chose to divulge in my notes. No holes, so the love growth and folds into bliss. Persist with some knowledge as the added get to let y'all in on what I'm with. Create with wit. Not no simple jumbled hit, a artifact delivered to forever, still a hater wit. All come with peace and ease, writing come smooth, kinda like the ABCs. Living forward, no retreat, and no disease. Ain't no room to be deceived. Once I mastered all of me, God's seed is what I be. Naked in the garden with Eve, I told her watch them trees. When it's not what it seems, let the inner intervene, then you'll be with me. We being all we can be, living full just to see life. We never felt the same way twice. Welcome back, lovers. I'm so happy to have y'all here on another episode of Fate Big Dick Energy. I'm your host, Jazzy Fields, and I just want to indulge in so many topics, and I feel like I'll never have enough to speak about, but today on this episode, we want to speak on something that I feel I've been going through often, but I never highlight why I chose to behave in this way or why I feel like it's the best way for me to behave. But when you're an earth angel and when you're of love, like, and positive for the most part, I feel like there's always this energy signature that comes around to disrupt that. And something that I've learned to accept in my journey is that things are meant to kind of stray me away from what's deserving of me or what I feel like I desire. When you manifest things, like, people think that it's easy or that it's just something that's promised, and there's so many aspects that you have to attribute to you actually getting there. You have to be grateful for the success of creating whatever you desire, even if it's a podcast. Every week is a challenge, and oftentimes there's this energy that tries to make you believe that you shouldn't keep on going. And there's a circumstance that happened to me yesterday at this occupation that I'm at, and I enjoy it. You know, it teaches me, it pushes me, it shows me my potential that I didn't even know in regards to even just doing the amount of work that I'm doing, but also in the ways that I've learned it and just expounding me outside of my comfort zone. Like, I'm doing things that I never thought I could do. But then when all that isn't a go, and then now you see that you can do it, the energy comes up in like a person. For example, I've been dealing with having to assert myself on all aspects, and how that makes me feel is kind of annoyed, because it's like, why do you have to continuously push yourself on people and force yourself when you're already a naturally expressive person, right? But I had this one particular person that allowed me to ponder, because I don't know if I mentioned it on my podcast, but initially I was having a blockage with an individual that turned out to be someone that had my same birthday as me. So I'm like, wow, that's deep reflection. That's deep. Like, you obviously reflecting something about myself that's causing a form of uncomfortability, because it's needed for me to assert it or change it, or at least look into it and be aware of it, that I could be being received that way. And then it also led me into the energy of me feeling like, okay, so how do I know if this is right? Like, it's always so many questions, right? But on Fit Big Dick Energy, we're going to get to the core of it. And the insecurity of it, I feel like, is the fact of you feeling like, even when you acknowledge of holding space, like, there's that energy of you being kind of in a void of just having to have faith to a certain extent. And when you're in that energy, it's kind of like, it's fluid. It could be like, you don't really understand how people could perceive it, or really understand how much power it could hold to someone outside of you, because you feel like it's about you, right? You feel like this is your form of development, but the whole time, like, there's so many versions of you to be for other people. So what I'm really trying to say is, so I'm dealing with a person that obviously don't know me. For example, a lot of individuals, like, I'm back in the world online and also just like physically with trying to attain whatever I desire and keeping my lifestyle flowing fluidly. And I'm dealing with a person that don't know me and is starting to develop me, or at least develop an understanding of who I am. So I've already developed myself. So they're not developing me, but they are teaching me things about myself to help me learn how to express myself to the world. And this person is just so strange because they made me realize just how much I choose peace, because certain things that could bother another person, to me, it's not that big of a deal, right? And how do I get their levels to feel that way? It's not because I'm not equally as irritated or whatever the case may be, but when you choose peace, you're able to see the people that are not of peace as much, or not of a form of resolve, and it makes me more appreciative. I see hundreds of houses at my job, and even that in itself is like, it's impossible for me not to be in a form of bliss with coming home, because little me, like, I have this beautiful ass house that God has blessed me with, and even when it's not its best, it's still comforting. It's still exactly what I need in this journey. And I just think about how so many people don't have that in their journey. So if you're someone watching this video, you probably have what you need in your journey, but then you still have to deal with people that will try to make you feel like you don't have what you need, right? Or that you are not enough, or that there's still more for you to develop, which is obviously what life is about. It's not about them, but something that is brought to the surface is just how many people don't choose peace, how many people are so hurt, how many people just need a form of validation. And that's why I come in to show you that, you know, the imperfections is actually where you get your form of like beauty from. And I obviously wanted to come on here and like make it like a teaching thing, or even just a sexualized thing, and, you know, tying human nature to a form of energetic signature, spiritual expression. But for me today, and I hope you see with that song, like that song kind of encapsulized it'd be the words, you know what I'm saying? Because I see what I'm saying. It's like, for example, like if it's like a ball, what is that? I guess like Pokemon could be a form of it, because like it's an energy inside of it, and then it's closed in. So when you bust open that Pokemon ball, then it's like shit, it could be either battle or whatever comes from it, it don't matter. But the fact of you holding whatever that energy is in that ball. This song for me that I did today, by the way, if y'all don't know, like, I write all these songs on a weekly basis. Everything is fresh, raw. Like, I like to record videos of myself just rambling sometimes. And I feel like some people like that as well, because then you can get like how my mind really processes. But like, long story short, with this poem that I created, it's like encapsulating all the energies that I feel into a form of like my being. So for example, you see me and you see what was created through me just having a confidence of just being on the camera, but all the things that was encapsulated within that week, for example, it's like in a poem, and it's so poetic, it's so like magical, and like it's just so many things. I feel like the biggest thing that I want to gain from when I look back on this video is to remember just how things form. And it's so strange because my lover, she put on a meditation video today, and the girl was like, you have to trust the seeds that's been planted. And something that stuck out with me is like, she was like, even when it gets quiet, even when there's not a form of validation, you have to understand that there's someone out there that needs to hear this. And even if it's just for you to see, you know, I feel like I study celebrities and I study people that are successful, just because when you're in the world and you want to be of some form of stature or status, or I know I am already, so it's like now I have to blend in with likeness of the world, you know, because obviously it's a process of getting into that and all those things that mold to make you this person that you are, to be idolized after. But when you really listen to these people, and one person that stood out to me was a young boy, and I almost was gonna judge him. I mean, it's quick to judge people, but his ability to understand the world and even his fans and understand himself and how he may be perceived, and the forward knowledge when he does things that may be out of the box and things of sort, like it's like he do that for that factor of letting you know that when you're truly creative, you don't have any boundaries on expression, but you definitely can create those to deliver a message, to make sure that it's perceived a certain type of way or received a certain type of way, but then also taking into account that it's not going to be for everybody. And like I said, I almost judged him, but then I realized that it's not even about what other people could think. It's really just about you putting yourself in a circumstance where you can create something to build from constantly. And when you're creative or when you're showing it to the world, the reason why I choose to do it is because it's to prove, but it's also just to validate. You know, when I heard that girl said there's someone out there that needs you, I needed her in that moment to show me how much growth is possible, because I might not ever be a yogi, but her potential, what she does with her body, and her explaining it to me, and me being on a level of not even being able to meet her, when I'm seeing it and hearing it, shows so many different levels. But it also shows the humility, because when she said that, you know, there may be silent moments where even her and, you know, her and her breaths and however she responds and whatever in that week, before she even manifested that video, like whatever came up before that, it's felt. Is that's what that's the part that we're going to take with us, the energy that's built through all these memories and circumstances. But when someone else needs that, it's because people don't like to believe it, but we really are kind of all the same. And I'm sure, like, the way my mind processes, people need to see that rawness. People need to see the phases of, you know, just whatever you got to do. To be honest with you, this right here, this is something that I look forward to, just figuring out how I'm going to put it together and all those things. I'm not sure what it adds up to, but I've been finding the magic in what it adds up to, because, like, for example, Young Boy and his just ability to not give a fuck and just express himself, it turns into a catalog, and it turns into him, like, just giving more of him to the world. And that's so beautiful, because I love when I see people and I can see their fullness. I think that this age and this time is for people to see the fullness, not necessarily be in a form of disguise, like with the age of Pisces. Like, age of Aquarius is for it not to make sense, but for it to bring a more full resolve of clarity and also expansion, no boundaries, but still learning and always trying to discover something anew, because there's so much to discover. So to tie it all around, when you planting the roots and you're planting seeds and growing roots from it, at some point you have to acknowledge that it's not meant to be perfect, but as long as you keep on moving towards it, it'll become a form of art. That's how every form of art is created. And I just hope that my art is everlasting and an influential and a motivating type of a way, where people can know that it's okay to be different, but it's okay to not understand that, even yourself, like, not really knowing where it's going to lead to. You don't have to put so much focus on how you want it to play out. At this point in my journey, I'm just so satisfied with all the experiences that I've had. And I think the biggest thing that I look forward to now is just being happy, like the peaceful things, being for sure, and like being able to turn on the camera and just really just speak my soul and not feel any pressure. But it is a pressure to do it. Like, if I don't do this, I feel off. So yeah, it doesn't really make so much sense to me now, but I definitely feel like I want to keep on doing this, even if it's just for me. If you're still watching this, probably because it's something about you that you feel like you need to tap into as well. And even if that's just in your head, I feel Like, I want to give you that motivation and trust to know that the answers will come, and in the most beautiful ways. Like, I asked for example, tying it out. But on my job, I asked for two things and I got it amongst so many things that I didn't want. But I got those two things that I want, right? So, in the processes and the journeys, you'll see that what you could create can become though what you want. And it is real, but you also have to plan to account that it may not be how you thought it would be. And that's beauty. So, yeah, man, make today beautiful, y'all. I ain't finna hold y'all. I'm just sending y'all some good energy and some good vibrations and honestly some things to think about. So I hope that you can take from this, add to this, like this, comment, make your own account on Rumble. If y'all not on Rumble yet, what are y'all doing? Come on now, y'all. I love y'all though. Peace. And this gonna be beyond Rumble, but Rumble, it feels like exactly what fake big dick energy is. So I hope y'all ain't hating on the way I had to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking to, you know what I'm saying? I'm speaking to the energy. All right, I'm gonna go. I have to go get this video together, y'all, and definitely cooling, chilling, enjoying my free time, enjoying all the space that I have to be myself. And y'all do it too. Take life slow, man. It's so beautiful. It don't have to be so hard. It doesn't. But that don't mean it's easy. See y'all next week.